Rick Adams here with Jack Farris. We had a long technical difficulties, but we are live and running. We got a big episode. This is episode 2. It is 10:38, April 30th, 2022. Put it in the history books, folks. Listen, we're going to talk about a lot of playoff matchups. Jack, what do you have to say?
Well, Rick, you were 100% right about the technical difficulties. We've been sitting here for probably maybe an hour and 25 minutes at least trying to figure out what the hell's going on with the Wi-Fi, what's going on with the microphone, everything else. But all that matters is we're here, loud and clear, and we're ready to go. We're ready to get you prepped for the NHL playoffs, most exciting time of the year, in my opinion. So we're ready to go, Rick, aren't we?
Yeah, we're always ready, Jack. I don't know if anybody struggles with technical difficulties, but we appreciate any donation. We're not looking for handouts, but any donation would be straight to the PuckHouse.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, we're just right. We're getting right off the ground and running here, so we're not going to be asking people for donations right away, but anything would be appreciated. But we got loyal fans, so just listening alone is good enough for me, honestly.
Yeah, of course. All right, let's. What do you want to do? You want to start east? You want to start west? What do you want to do? You want to go back and forth?
Either way, we can hit whatever one you want to hit first.
All right, let's get Boston and Carolina out of the way.
All right, that's a good one.
I like that one a lot. Love it a lot.
I do. Well, I don't know. Listen, if I'm picking one right off the bat, just to get it over with, I'm picking Carolina to win the series.
Yeah, I agree.
If I got to pick, I'm going just as Jack's pick, Carolina in 6. Put it in the record books. That's you can put that on record. Jack says Carolina in 6. I think Boston's going to give him a run for their money, but I think Freddie Anderson's battle tested. I think he's battle tested in the playoffs, based on his playoffs with Toronto. I know he didn't win in Toronto, but he's played in the playoffs in Toronto, and I think he's ready to prove something. I think he's a very good goalie. He's experienced. I like Carolina's team a lot. They've got a few guys that I don't know if I would say they're elite superstars, but they're stars for sure. And Aho, Svechnikov, Teravainen, these guys, Jacob Slavin, but they just have depth, So I think they'll get past Boston. I really do, and I don't think it's gonna be easy because I think Boston's got a solid team too. That top line, Pasternak, Marchand, Bergeron. It's not gonna, Charlie McAvoy. I think with Boston, it's really going to come down to what does Jeremy Swayman do, because he's a young goalie.
Yeah.
He's looked pretty good, but how is he going to look in the playoffs? I think that's going to be their X factor. Does Swayman play well? But overall, I got Carolina in 6. I think Carolina beats Boston, no doubt.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Carolina has it. Like you said, Jack, the goaltending is going to be the biggest thing. I mean, 2 young goalies trying to prove it. I mean, maybe they will all prove us wrong. I mean, maybe they'll all stand on their head. But, Swayman pretty much has the start. We'll see how he pans out. I think we're going to see a big uptick in hitting with Boston. I think once they get into the playoffs there, they just go into a whole new level. And, they just... Listen, I think Carolina's going to win it. I think they are going to do it in 6. I actually have that in my bracket, my NHL.com bracket. So I do have that. I do agree. Player to watch in this series, I think, on Carolina. I don't want to go with the typical Sebastian Aho or Slavin. I'm going to go with Nino Niederreiter. I think he's going to have 3 goals at least in this series.
I like that. I think Jordan Staal is going to step it up. I think he's a battle-tested vet. And I think he's a solid player, and I think he's gonna, when Boston's focusing on Aho and Svechnikov and Teravainen, I think those guys like Staal, Niederreiter, Teravainen, these other guys here that Seth Jarvis, I think these other guys are gonna be able to chip in. They're gonna be able to contribute, and I think they're gonna get it done. Listen. I like Boston's team too. I really do. I think they have some depth, but I just have a feeling Carolina's going to pass them. I think Carolina's got more depth on the blue line, and I think Carolina's got the better goalie right now. I do like Swayman. I think in the future Swayman could be a very good goalie, but right now I think Carolina's got a better goalie, and I think they got a better blue line.
Yeah. All right, let's try and go a little quick here for the fans, right? Let's bring it up to, let's go west. Let's go east to west to east, and back and forth. Let's start out with Edmonton and the LA Kings.
Edmonton, LA Kings. Well, I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't want I'd be lying if I secretly didn't want LA to win. If I didn't if I didn't secretly want LA to squeak past Edmonton, just to see the outrage from the Canadian media and Edmonton itself, but I don't see it happening. I think McDavid and Draisaitl are going to step it up and they're going to get past LA. I think that whole series is only going to be about goaltending. I think with LA, if Jonathan Quick could stand on his head, which he's kind of done all year, and Cal Peterson stepped in and looked pretty good as well. He was supposed to be the starter, but Jonathan Quick kind of has been back to his old self and has been playing pretty awesome. I think it's going to be between that and can Edmonton's goalies play the way they're supposed to play? Is Mike Smith going to play the way he's supposed to play to win a series? He's 39 years old. He's a veteran.
Pretty sure Koskinen has the start,
but he has,
if I'm not mistaken.
Koskinen can be shaky. He's not always. He could be inconsistent. That's what I think. That might be what it comes down to. I don't think LA has the firepower that Edmonton does offensively. We'll see what happens. I mean, does Drew Doughty come back for LA? I know he's hurt. Yeah. I could see him coming back. He's a warrior. I could see him coming back even if he's hurt and still playing hurt. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I got Edmonton winning. I say Edmonton wins in 6, but like I said, I'd be lying if I wasn't saying that I was secretly rooting for LA a little bit to be the underdogs and beat Edmonton just to see the outrage from the Canadian media. Sorry, Canadian fans.
Yeah. My bracket, I have it going to a full 7 series, full game 7, but I do think Edmonton will be the winners. I just think that they have too much firepower, even given their goalie situation. I think we're going to see in that series 2 guys that are going to stand out is going to be Darnell Nurse and Evan Bouchard. I think Evan Bouchard is a great young defenseman, and I'm not just saying that because I like him in GM mode and I had him on my fantasy team, but he... watching
our boy
him play,
Griffin's like a huge fan of him.
Yeah, a friend of mine's a great, big fan of Darnell Nurse. He has shirts of him and everything. It's crazy. But anyway, I do think. I mean, it just comes down to goaltending, yes. But I think the firepower that Edmonton has, I don't think LA is going to be able to top it. I really don't think so.
I agree. I think I think there's a few guys in LA that are underrated. I think Philip Deneau that they got from Montreal. He's so good defensively, and he's not flashy, and he doesn't put up a lot of big numbers. He's not scoring the highlight reel goal, but he plays so well defensively, back checks, and
good two-way guy.
He plays the right way, exactly, two-way. So, like I said, Drew Doughty, if he comes back.
Adrian Kemp's pretty good, too.
Adrian Kemp, if their young guys step up, and if their goalies play well, I mean... the Kopitar's
a factor.
Kopitar's still an awesome two-way defenseman, two-way center. I mean, listen, I wouldn't be sitting here, completely shocked if LA beat them.
No, I wouldn't be shocked.
I just think
it's gonna be a good series.
I think if I had to put my money on anyone, it would be Edmonton, just because of their firepower. McDavid, Draisaitl, it's tough to bet against those guys.
True.
I think a lot of it's gonna be up to does their young D-man and their goaltending step up and get the job done. I think another player to watch is Evander Kane. We all know he's got his off-ice issues and could be a little bit of a fucking crazy person from all the stories we've heard. But, he's what has he got, 21 goals in
at least
40, I don't know, 38 games or something like that.
Imagine he played a full season.
He's on fire. I mean, playing with elite players obviously helps, but he's a good player. His being able to play the game of hockey was never in question. It was more about his character. So he's definitely a good hockey player. There's no doubt about that.
Is he a locker room cancer? I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't think so. But the looks of this,
he's obviously hockey wise, skill wise, he's getting the job done. So, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, and if Smith and Koskinen are able to step it up and get it done for McDavid, Draisaitl, and the boys, I think Edmonton gets past LA.
I agree, Jack. Let's step up into Florida versus Washington. Let's bring it back to the East now. This is going to be a very interesting series, Jack. We got here Alexander Ovechkin going up against Jonathan Huberdeau. We know those are the two top players to watch there. You know what Ovechkin's going to do. He's going to sit there in the office there. He's going to one-time that puck right there, top shelf, A button, let's go, top left, A all day. I fucked it up. But
100%. Listen, we, like I said, I don't think, Florida shouldn't take Washington lightly. They won a cup, 4 years back now? I mean, is it 3 years? 3 or 4 years?
I think so. I didn't realize we're that old. 2018.
2018. So, yeah. So, about, 4 years now. Yeah, it's about 4 years. I'm not a big math guy. But, yeah, 4 years. So, they're a good team. Ovechkin, Backstrom, Kuznetsov, they're not going to be taken lightly. But, no. Am I putting my money on Washington over Florida? Not a chance. I think Florida's a really good team. Florida's going to beat them. I go Florida in 6. Wouldn't be shocked if it was Florida in 5 either.
Wouldn't be shocked either. That's very true. It's very true. Player to watch here. I said it before I mentioned it. I think is Alexander Ovechkin. I know that's a little cliche. I think that's a little cliche and a little typical.
Tom Wilson, I think.
You think Tom Wilson?
Yeah.
Well, he brings a very physical aspect to his game. Of course, we all know. But my thing is, it's just like Ovechkin's having a great season. We all know that. We know what he's chasing. We know the accolades, the records, and all that. But a lot of pressure on him. I know he's getting up there in the age, but it really does show no sign of slowing down. But I think this generation of hockey players, and again, it all comes down if they stay healthy. I think this generation of hockey players are gonna kill the narrative of 36, 37, you got to retire in hockey.
Yeah,
I think
animal,
Ovechkin's one of a kind. I'm not saying he's gonna play like Jaromir Jagr up to 45 years old, but
he's a different animal. Yeah, he's not your
just
typical.
a different animal.
He's not your typical player. That's a fact. So, listen, I don't think Florida's going to take Washington lightly. I don't think they should, but I don't think they get past Florida. I mean, Barkov and Huberdeau they're still and
so good.
I shouldn't say underrated because they're so good. They get paid so much money now, especially Barkov. But people know about them, especially NHL people, but they still don't get talked about enough.
Yeah,
they're just so good. They're superstars. They really are, but they just don't get talked about like the Toronto people. Toronto and Boston, New York.
Yeah.
Montreal, whatever. Like
under the radar.
Tampa, even like they're just not getting talked about like those guys. So they're just unbelievable. Their second line's very good. Their blue line's good. I think Bobrovsky's still a great goalie. I trust him more than Washington's goalie, Samsonov. Samsonov has his moments, but I don't think he could be trusted in a playoff series yet, in my opinion. So it's going to be up to Bobrovsky. But the thing is, even if Bobrovsky has some rough nights, Spencer Knight is going to be their backup goalie, and he's proven to be pretty damn good. So, if you have Bobrovsky taking some pressure off him, and, if Spencer Knight has to step in for a night or two, I trust that guy. He's going to be an elite goalie in the NHL for years to come.
Yeah.
So if you have to throw him in for a night or two, it wouldn't shock me if he plays unbelievable. They have so much depth. They pick up Giroux, Anthony Duclair scoring goals, Huberdeau, Barkov. They got Mason Marchment for Hagee. They got so many guys that could score goals. They got a solid blue line, Uyghur, Ekblad. I'm picking Florida over Washington, no doubt. But like I said, Washington can't be taken lightly because they're only a few years removed from a championship, and they've got most of that core still. Guys like TJ Oshie, Ovechkin, obviously. Those guys know how to play in big moments, and they probably will play in big moments. But I think Florida gets it done. I think Florida gets it done against Washington. Yeah. I say Florida in 6.
Florida in 6. I have to agree, Jack. Listen, Florida's a great skill-based team. Same thing with Washington. Washington might be more physical, and they might dominate on that aspect of the game. But I really do think, due to goaltending, we said it all day through the first episode. I think goaltending is going to be a factor here, and I don't trust Samsonov and Vita Vanacek.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, listen, prove us wrong. I'm not counting you out. I'm not doubting you, but if I'm betting on it, if I'm talking about it like that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put my money on Florida all day.
Yep, I agree with you. 100%.
So, let's go back to the West now.
All right.
Let's go to Minnesota, St. Louis.
That's a big one.
I like this series.
I like that series a lot too.
I like that series a lot.
I'm gonna go right off the top rope here. St. Louis wins, but in 7 by slim margins. Minnesota's a good team. I like Minnesota too, but when I really thought about this, I went with St. Louis, I think. But it's tough because ever since Minnesota added Fleury, it's like he may be the X factor if he plays the way he's capable of playing in the playoffs, like he did for Pittsburgh and he did for Vegas in past years.
Been there.
So I think that's the X factor. So it's really hard for me to pick one of these. That's why it's going to be such an entertaining series to watch, because it could go either way, and I wouldn't be surprised either way. Whoever won, it wouldn't shock me at all. But I guess if I had to pick one, it would be St. Louis, because they are battle tested. They have a really good blue line. Binnington has proven that he can play in the playoffs in big moments. He definitely can. So if he could do it again, wouldn't be so abnormal for him to do that again. I love their blue line: Krug, Parayko, Falk. They got some depth. Scandella. Got some big guys that could play. Robert Thomas is probably one of the most not talked about players that's just lighting it up this year.
Big setup guy.
Buchnevich, Kyrou, O'Reilly, Perron, Shen.
Another under the radar team.
Yes, absolutely. So but you could say the same thing about Minnesota. Is the Kaprizov factor going to take over, because he looks like such a superstar, obviously, in Minnesota. And they got a lot of depth too. They got young guys that could play. That kid Matthew Boley looks unreal.
He does.
Ryan Hartman looks unbelievable. I'm sure he wishes he didn't sign for 3 years at like $1.8 million or whatever he signed at, because he could probably be making like $5 next year if he wanted to, at least.
Farris was his agent, man.
If Jack Farris was his agent, he'd be making like $9 million, yeah. But it's tough. I don't know. I like both of these teams a lot. The only reason I'm honestly going with St. Louis is because they are battle tested, and a lot of that core has gone through deep playoff runs. That's why I'm picking them. But it's going to be an awesome series, because both of those teams know how to play a skill game. They know how to play a gritty game. That's going to be a nice Midwest matchup for sure.
Absolutely. That's going to be a great series. I think that's going to be my series to watch. That's going to be great back and forth. I do actually have it in my bracket going to 7, but I had the Minnesota Wild winning. Call me crazy, but just this season, I really don't trust St. Louis goaltending. And it all comes down.
Can't say I blame you, but
it all comes down to that. Listen. Teams like Tampa proved it. Tampa's a very good team without Vasilevsky, but Vasilevsky is that anchor, at the end of the day.
Yep.
Listen, it's the X factor, whatever you want to call that. That's the takeover, the game changer, the X factor.
Yep.
So I do think a guy like Fleury has been there. I think that might be the X factor. The missing piece, the game changer, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I think that is decision maker. But listen, if I had to bet on it, I'd bet on that. But that's just me. That's Rick Adams.
That's Rick Adams. Yeah. Listen.
Risky Rick.
Risky Rick. Yeah. Yeah. Listen. I think it's gonna be. St. Louis only because, like I said, they are battle tested. I think Binnington's been shaky this year for sure, but
Usso's good.
He's looked damn good, and so you could trust throwing him in. But also Binnington, I mean, the year they won the Cup, he was,
great.
He was great, and he was great throughout the playoffs. But St. Louis had a really rocky year up until like mid-January.
Yeah.
Before they won, like no one thought they were going to win the Cup, no doubt, So I don't know. It's a tough one. This might be the most interesting. This is the one probably I had the most tough time picking a winner, but I'm just going with St. Louis solely based on their playoff and Stanley Cup experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Risky Rick is pretty risky.
Yeah. Tricky,
all
right?
Let's dive into. All right. We're saving the best for last, so we're gonna go talk about Toronto and Tampa Bay.
Right now.
All
right. I like this series.
This is I want to start it off saying in my bracket, just for the hell of it, I have Toronto winning this. I think they got a lot of people to prove wrong. I think they have a lot of people to shut up and just to kill the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a series to do this, first round against Tampa Bay, the Stanley Cup winners past 2 years, I mean, me personally, I think this might be the second best game to watch. The second best series to watch, I should say. Just phenomenal talent all around. High skilled guys between Stamkos, Hedman, Vasilevsky, Matthews,
Nylander, Marner. Yeah,
I mean, the list goes on, man.
I see. Here's my thing. I think Toronto's an awesome regular season team. I don't think they have what it takes to get it done in the playoffs. And one of the biggest reasons for me with that is I'm not even trying to like copy everyone that says like, oh, Toronto doesn't know how to play physical. They can't hit. They don't play gritty enough. They don't play physical enough. They don't fight. They don't hit. It's more so Andrei Vasilevsky he has to be the best goaltender in the league right now. He has to. Like how could you argue he's not?
It's true.
He's won 2 cups. He's unbelievable.
True.
And Toronto, where does Jack Campbell or Peter Mrazek match up against Vasilevsky? I don't think so great.
Yeah.
Do you match up Jake Muzzin against Victor Hedman? I don't think so great.
Absolutely not.
Matthews, unbelievable. Love him. He's a great player. He scored 60 fucking goals. He's obviously unbelievable. I just think when you look at the rosters from the blue line, the goalie, and it's not like Tampa doesn't have guys that could score. Stamkos, Point, Kucherov, Andre Palat. A lot of people don't talk about him. He could score goals. He's I'm not saying that Jack Campbell's not a good goalie in the regular season, but he's not tested in the playoffs. It's a tough one. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for Tampa, that's for sure. But Tampa gets past them. I'm pretty damn confident Tampa wins, that's for sure. I like the moves they made at the deadline, picking up Nick Paul, Brandon Hagel, getting more like speedy, gritty forwards that could play physical and kill penalties and take face-offs and ship in some goals. They have all their positions covered right now. They got a solid blue line. They got skilled forwards. They got physical forwards. They got penalty killers. They got an awesome goalie. Brian Elliott's a veteran goalie. He's their backup. I trust Tampa 100%. I'd be very surprised if Toronto wins. I think Toronto's headed for another disappointing year of failing in the first round because they're facing Tampa.
Well, as much as I want to agree, but I just want my bracket to win. If I had to bet, I guess I would pick Tampa, but I do have to say I just think that fire underneath Toronto to prove people wrong might be the driving factor. If there was an upset I had to pick, I think it would be this. And I know Toronto is having a great regular season year and whatnot, and they might be somewhat of as a favorite on paper by points and all this. Mm-hmm. But I really do think just having to prove the people that are counting them out people like you, Jack, and all the media up there, stuff like that. But all seriousness, I do think their firepower, as crazy as this might sound, I think they might just be more firepower, and I know that they have a great defense, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they have the best goalie in the league. I mean,
yeah, I think the whole proving wrong thing they're gonna try, and they have a lot of skill. I don't think they just don't have the sheer depth and the talent and the heart that Tampa has. I mean, Tampa's won 2 cups. They have the goaltending. They have the blue line. They have the depth up front. I don't see a position that Toronto's stronger in. I mean, sure, if you said, do you want Matthews or Braden Point, I'd pick Matthews every day of the week. But, besides that, I mean, yeah, sure, Marner's great, Nylander's great, but I just think that Tampa's able to get it done offensively. Kucherov's amazing. Point, Stamkos, Alex Killorn scores goals. This kid Brandon Hagel scoring goals. Andre Palat. But more so than that, for Tampa, it's just their blue line. Sergachev, McDonough, Hedman. The kid Cal Foote looks pretty damn good. Jan Ruda. Eric Cernak's very underrated. He's huge and he can move. He's not, he's a very good defenseman. And then the big X factor, like I said, is Andrei Vasilevsky. So that's why I'm picking Tampa for sure. I think it'll be an entertaining series because I think Toronto's not going to be a cakewalk because they're so skilled. But I think when it comes down to the nitty gritty, Tampa's gonna get it done. They're gonna do what they got to do, and they're gonna get it done, and they're gonna win. They're going to be shaking hands with smiles on their faces in Game 5 or Game 6.
I think it goes full 7. I have it in my bracket. Toronto wins. But stay tuned, folks.
We'll stay. Yeah,
Monday
we'll see
it starts.
Who's right or who's wrong. We'll bring that up. That's for sure.
Let's dive into Colorado, Nashville quick. Let's make this quick.
Yeah, I think this should be a somewhat quicker one, I guess.
Yeah, listen, yep. I know I just said before, if there was an upset to happen, I'm not saying this would happen, but this might be the biggest upset ever. Not ever. I shouldn't say ever, but
this would be the biggest biggest upset possible. I think maybe Dallas over Calgary would be more, but I honestly, because Colorado, look, everyone's picking Colorado. People that don't even really watch hockey, people that watch hockey once a month are picking Colorado. Oh, they're so good, and because they are obviously they're a fucking awesome team, but I don't see it happening. I got Colorado, obviously. I mean, how could you not? They're just so good. Joe Sakic's added things at the deadline that he should add. They got depth on the blue, and they had Josh Manson, big defender, right-handed shot.
Yep, I love that addition.
They have Eric Johnson already. They have Sam Girard. They have Cale Makar, obviously, unreal. Devin Taves, who's a superstar fucking defenseman that the Islanders let go. They're really, their blue line's unreal. Their forwards are unreal. I just think it's just, is that top line going to be able to perform every night, which I think they will. I mean, I don't see Nashville having a chance of getting past them. I think the only way they do is if, Filip Forsberg has just friggin' an unbelievable amount of goals, and Roman Yossi's on fire still, which he has been all year. He'll probably win the Norris. He's got 96 points or something like that, but UC Saros is an amazing goalie. But when it comes,
he hurt?
He is, but I think he's going to return. I don't know about Game 1, but he's probably going to return fairly soon. Nashville fans, if I'm sure you guys are, you might be yelling at me over your stereos right now if he's going to be out for 2 weeks, but I don't think Saros is going to be out too long. I think he'll make it back. He could be out for a month, maybe. But you know how that works in playoffs. I mean, playoffs, the guy could come back in a week because they'll play with a broken foot or something. That's the way they roll in playoffs. They'll play hurt. But I like Nashville a lot. I went to Nashville twice and I loved it. It was so much fun, and that building's unreal, and it's just the energy there is crazy. But they can't get past Colorado. I don't think Colorado's too much of a firehouse.
I agree.
They're too much of a wagon. They got every position covered. I think with Colorado, not just against Nashville, just all playoff long, is Darcy Kemper going to be the goalie he's supposed to be for them. If he can be, they could win the cup.
Right.
You know, I think that's what that comes down to. But yeah, I don't think Nashville. I think Nashville getting in and playing hard against Colorado is a good thing for them, but I don't think Nashville's got enough depth on the blue line. I mean, once you look past Roman Josi, who do you really have? They gave up Brian Ellis.
I couldn't tell you.
Matthias Ekholm's a solid defenseman.
He's good.
He really
solid.
is.
He's solid.
But they don't have the depth Colorado has. I'm sorry. They just don't. They have some solid friggin' players, there's no doubt, but Colorado wins this. Colorado wins this in 5 or 6. I know I'm being like, I'm cheating by saying 5 or 6, but, you know, they win. That's for sure. They definitely win. I don't even think Nashville could take them to 7. I think the Colorado wraps this up before Game 7.
I agree. I think I might have it in as a Game 5 win, you know, for Colorado, honestly. I'm pretty sure I put that in my bracket. Listen, Colorado's just superior. It's no disrespect to the Nashville Predators. We know they're a great hockey team. Can David Rittich really stand on his head and hold it down for them? Who knows? He'll prove it now. If there ever was a time to prove it, it would be against them. You know, this is something where you see, I feel like a favorite completely take over and just, I don't want to say dominate, but in a way. Let's dive into Calgary versus Dallas because I want to save the best series for last. Calgary, very interesting team. Under the radar, I really feel, unless it's in the heavy Canadian market on the west there, even on the east side there, obviously, of course, but you know, I think people don't really know about them unless you're just a follower of the league and a diehard and whatnot. I think Mangiapane is going to be putting in at least 4 goals this series. I think Toffoli was a great addition. I really like their goalie, Jacob Markstrom. I mean, the list goes on and on. Rasmus Anderson is solid, you know, D-man there. But Dallas is interesting. Dallas is very interesting. Robertson's killing it, 40-goal scorer, right? Young, speedy guy.
Jamie Benn hasn't done, like, he's a veteran, he's had a lot of injuries. But, like, he's also the type of guy that steps it up in the playoffs, I think. But also, to keep things kind of simple, I mean, yeah, Ben and Seguin may step it up a little bit in the playoffs. But I don't think anyone... I shouldn't say anyone, but, like, I don't think Dallas is getting past Calgary. They just look unbelievable right now. Jacob Markstrom's been playing unreal. He's an unreal goalie. He was in Vancouver. He's even more so in Calgary. Matthew Tkachuk has 104 points this year.
It's insane.
Johnny Gaudreau's on fire. Lindholm's on fire. Mangiapane's on fire. Yep. Guess what? You try to go after Gaudreau, Milan Lucic is going to fucking slam your head into the boards.
Yep.
True. They got a nice blue line. They got Noah Hannafin. They have, you know, Rasmus Anderson, like you mentioned. They, you know, they're solid. They have a lot of depth. They're going to win against Dallas, no doubt. I don't think Dallas puts up too much of a fight, to be honest. I think any team that makes the playoffs is a good team, so they're not going to be a cakewalk, but Calgary wins. So Calgary wins in 5 or 6. Yeah,
I have them in my bracket actually winning in 6. I can see Dallas sneaking in.
Tkachuk is a gamer, too. He's just like playoff pro. You know, he's not the type of guy that's going to score a shit ton of points in the regular season and then cool off in the playoffs. He doesn't want to play hard. He's going to play even harder probably in the playoffs. So
yeah, it's going to be great. You know. I can't wait to watch this, honestly. Another series I can't wait to watch is the Rangers versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. This, personally, growing up watching the Metropolitan Division my whole life, right? All those games. I can't wait to watch this series because this is a very good Rangers team against a veteran Big Three Pittsburgh Penguins. And I don't want to count out Rust. I don't want to count out a guy like Gensel. You know, I don't want to count them out. I should have mentioned them. But, it's a very good Rangers team. And Igor Shesterkin, talking about good goaltending all the time. I mean, this guy is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's their X factor.
Franchise goalie right there.
Oh yeah, unbelievable. I think he's the next Vasilevsky in a sense. He's carried them all year, and not to say that the Rangers don't have a good roster, but all year long he's been lights out. He's going to be the X factor because if he keeps I really think he's got that like heart in him that he's going to play just as hard in the playoffs that he did in the regular season, but he's not battle tested in the playoffs, so we'll see. But
True.
I believe in him. Panarin's unbelievable. Zibanejad, Kreider's having an unreal year. Kreider has playoff experience. Strome has a little bit of playoff experience. I think with the Rangers, it's really going to come down to their younger defensemen and younger forwards. Are they able to step up and play good in the playoffs and go that extra?
Yeah.
Turn it up a notch in the playoffs because a lot of players can, but are the younger rookies able to? Braden Schneider's, Andre Miller, Kakko, Lafreniere,
Even Fox.
guys like that. Even Fox, even though Fox is unreal, I mean, is he able to do it? Not just because I'm a Rangers fan. But yeah, I'm definitely picking the Rangers over Pittsburgh. Yeah. I mean, I'm biased because I grew up a Ranger fan, but they're it's just shirking, man. Like they have a solid decor. Jacob Trouba is a solid anchor, right-handed shot defenseman. Hits, has a bomb of a shot. Could play in all situations. Fox is unbelievable offensively, smart, poised with the puck. Lindgren plays hard, playoff type of hockey, physical, block shots, you name it, not afraid to mix it up. It's really going to come down to their younger D-men, like I said. Are they able to keep up in the playoffs and turn it up a notch? But, I don't think Pittsburgh really has the strongest decor once you get past Letang either.
True.
So I think it's going to be sort of... I think the Rangers may even have the edge on defense, to be honest.
Absolutely.
I think the Rangers have the edge on goalie.
Yep.
I think Shesterkin's a way better goal than Tristan Jarry, even if Tristan Jarry's on his A game.
Yep.
It's really... If Pittsburgh wins, it's going to come down to Crosby just playing lights out.
Yeah.
And Malkin playing lights out.
Extra gear. That playoff gear there.
But I don't see it happening. I think the Rangers get past Pittsburgh. Not just saying that because I'm a Ranger fan once again, but I think they have enough depth this time around. The Barclay Goodrows, Ryan Reeves, those type of guys are going to kill penalties and play physical and be difference makers. And I think the big boys get it done. Zibanejad, Kreider, Panarin, Fox, Trouba.
Don't forget about Kreider.
Yeah. And I think Shesterkin plays up to par. I think he does what he's supposed to do, and I think he's their X factor, and he gets it done for them. And we're going to move on to the next round.
I agree with that. That's why I have them going winning in my bracket here. Very interesting to see if Chris Kreider burns out, or is he going to be even better? Is he going to remain the same?
I think he's a playoff player. He's a big boy.
I think so, too.
Gets in front of the net. He can deflect pucks very well. He's big. He's strong. He's not afraid to play physical. He's not afraid to get hit. He's not, he's kind of a playoff player, so it's just unbelievable this regular season that he had with all the goals he scored. But yeah, he's there's no doubt he's gonna. I really think he's gonna step it up in the playoffs.
Check this out. This might be my hot take of the night.
Andrew Kopp too is another guy to watch because he's been in Winnipeg for a bit and he's played real solid for them, and I think he's really motivated to play well.
True.
Big heavy centerman that can play offensively.
Like that guy.
Yeah.
No, I like him. He's been finishing strong this season with them. For real. Hot take of the night right here. You heard it first. A little ridiculous. Might not be far off. This Rangers team might be better than the 2014 Cup Run team.
I don't disagree with you. Yeah, I really don't. Lundqvist was unreal, but I think as far as straight firepower goes offensively, I think this Ranger team's better. When you look at Zibanejad and Kreider and Panarin, and Adam Fox, I think you're right about that. I think they have enough depth, defensively and penalty killing wise and all of that type of stuff, that their firepower is going to make up for that, and Shesterkin's going to be the X factor. If he plays like Lundqvist and Panarin keeps putting the puck in the net, and Zibanejad does what he's supposed to do, and I think they get past Pittsburgh. I really do.
I believe it, Jack.
Not going to be a cakewalk, though, because Pittsburgh, it's Crosby. Now, Crosby and Malkin are never a cakewalk, so we'll see they gotta try to crack Jari, because Jari didn't play so well last year in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. He's gonna be motivated. He's gonna be motivated to play well in the playoffs. That's for damn sure. But I think the Rangers get past them.
Yeah. I agree. All right, folks. I think that's about it. That wraps up the podcast.
Nice quick pod, but don't worry, we'll be back next week, and we're gonna be during the games. We're gonna be looking into stuff. Only a few games in, but we'll have a longer pod for you guys. We just wanted to give you a little quick little quick little startup, a little refresher, whatever you want to call it, before just to prep you guys for the playoffs, get you prepped, and you guys let us know what you think. But we just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we're thinking. And since the playoff match comes out, it's exciting to talk about. So once we get going here and we get a few games in, we're gonna have a better idea what's going on. But we'll be here with you guys. We'll be here covering it and talking about it. And you guys can send us any questions you have or any comments you have, and we'll be here. So thank you for anyone that's listening, and appreciate you guys. And like I said, you got any comments or questions, you hit us up. We'll be here. Jack Farris and Rick Adams.